This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
On October 1st, 1936, the Chicago White Sox faced the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field for the annual Chicago City Series exhibition game. This event marked another chapter in the long-standing Cubs-White Sox rivalry, which had defined the city's baseball landscape for decades. The Cubs entered the series after finishing fourth in the National League, while the White Sox, despite being a mid-tier team in the American League, had the upper hand in these intra-city showdowns. The White Sox were managed by Jimmy Dykes and the Cubs by Charlie Grimm. This rivalry had been one of baseball's most consistent postseason matchups since the early 1900s, with the teams competing in the City Series almost every year that neither club was in the World Series. Although the Cubs had secured National League pennants in 1929, 1932, and 1935, their success did not translate into city bragging rights, as the White Sox continued to dominate these matchups. This audio recording is from the radio broadcast featuring announcers Fred Palmer, Hal Totten, and George Watson.
Kellogg's on the air. The Kellogg Company, makers of the famous Kellogg cornflakes and other ready-to-eat cereals, presents Hal Totten. But right now, here's a suggestion to brighten up your fall menu. Why not try serving Kellogg's cornflakes? Some people still think of cornflakes as a food for breakfast only. But just try them for a light supper. Serve them with sliced bananas or with a preserved fruit. The whole family will be delighted with this crisp, toasty, flaky cereal that is so easy to digest. But be sure to get genuine Kellogg's cornflakes that come to you fresh from the spotless Kellogg kitchens with the flavor protected by the wax-tight inner wrapper. Your grocer has Kellogg's cornflakes in the familiar white, red, and green Kellogg package. You better order some tomorrow. And now, here's Hal Totten.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Ford, you know that contest? We can't tell them yet who's the winner because we don't know yet. There's 4 players so close to the top that they're having to go back and add every bit of a vote that's come in again. In other words, right from the start, they're re-adding all the votes to make sure that the one of these 4 players that are within 100 votes of each other on the unofficial standings is actually the winner. And as to who is going to win the other prizes, the prizes for those writing in, well, we still hope to have it within a week, but I don't know. Those thousands and thousands of letters are bearing a lot of reading, and a couple of the judges right now are out of town, so we got to get them back in town so we can bear down on it. So if the people will be patient, we will too, I hope. Anyway, I'm trying to because I'm sort of anxious to know myself.
That's so am I.
Yeah, I want to know who's getting all these automobiles and fur coats and radios. I mean, you and I can't get them. But somebody can.
At least we can know who got them anyhow.
Yeah, right. And we can have the fun of presenting them, maybe. Well, the World Series opening game has come and gone, hasn't it? And it came and went just about the way most people figured it would. A fellow named Carl Hubble was just about too tough for the boys. And he won that game 6-1, beating the Yankees in that fashion, holding them to 7 hits, striking out 8 of them by cracky and walking only 1. In other words, the Yankees saw a great southpaw with great stuff and control. They've seen a lot of great southpaws in their league with good stuff. Some of them haven't got so much control. Of course, the veterans have, like Lefty Grove when he's right, and Earl Whitehill. But the majority of them haven't the control and the stuff that Hubble had. And he showed it time and time again. Just from hearsay and what we know of the serious game, we know several things that happened that bore out what was said before the series really got underway. The first hit of the game went to Bill Terry. That was one of Bill Terry's 2 hits. Terry showed that he's the great money player he always was. However, another giant player who figured on being a great money player lived up to his reputation. And that was Mel Ott, the little rascal who plays right field and is one of the greatest young ball players in the major leagues and now already a veteran. But a couple of other boys bounced up with base hits. In fact, 8 of the 9 hits made by the Giants were made by 4 players. One of them was little Dick Bartell. You know, Bartell is one of these fiery little players who may be very hot or very cold. Might be very dangerous at bat or very docile. Today, he was very, very tough. As a matter of fact, it was his home run that tied up the game after Powell had, or rather, Selkirk had put the Yankees ahead with a home run early in the game. And the other 2 hits, you guess. Carl Hubble himself. Boy, he's always been tough up at that dish, but when he was out there with that winning spirit, he was up with 2 more base hits. You know, that sort of gives an idea of what those Giants have. Now, tomorrow may be a different thing. Freddie Fitzsimmons is going to pitch. Probably pitch against lefty Gomez. Gomez has been going erratically lately. He pitched 1 good game. 1 good game at the end of a very erratic season is another question. The 3rd inning again saw Hubble rise to the height. Selkirk opened the inning with a home run. That put the Yankees ahead. And after Hubble himself tossed out roughing, and Crosetti popped to Whitehead, we're off in DiMaggio single. Well, there was one of those big Yankee innings in the making, you think. Who was at bat? Lou Gehrig. What did he do? Hit a nice little bounder down to a fellow named Carl Hubble, and Hubble threw him out to first base. I don't know. That Hub was right in there all the time. 4th inning again, it was Hubble. It had started to rain. Fans didn't like it very much because the ball handling was bad. The crowd was uncomfortable, and still they played the ball game in these conditions, so they went on. And Dickey opened up looking at a 3rd strike. But Powell doubled to left and Lazzeri walked. There was the real tough spot. They tried a double steal, figuring they were 1 run ahead. And that great little general back of the plate, who is, to my mind, one of the fellows that is completely not appreciated in baseball, a fellow who should have much more credit for what he's getting. Gus Mancuso whipped that ball down to Jackson, and the fleet-footed, hard-sliding, and cutting and slashing and spike-wielding Powell was out. And then Selkirk, who had hit a home run early in the game, was struck out for the 3rd out. Little Millard bounced up in the 6th inning to hit a base hit, a 2-base hit in fact, showing that he wasn't there, and he doubled to left, showing that he hit a good pitched ball. Ball that was pitched outside to keep him from hitting it to right and into the stand. Ripple, the youngster, coolly stepped up there and laid down a sacrifice. And if you think sacrificing against good pitching, such as Ruffing was showing, and Ruffing did pitch a corking good ball game, if you think bunting against that kind of pitching and under that strain is easy, you're cuckoo. The score was tied, remember? And here was the proposition. And so Ripple laid down the sacrifice, and the same Gus Mancuso, the boy who bears down when it counts, singled to left to drive in that run and put the Cubs ahead. So there is the rest of the Cubs, the Giants ahead, the National League team anyway. 7th inning again was Hubble. After Powell singled to left, Lazzeri turned around and struck out for the 2nd time. Selkirk forced Powell, and Terry Bartell and Ruffing fans. So there you had Mr. Hubble again. Giants had 6 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. The Yankees 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors. Batteries for the Giants, Hubble and Mancuso. For the Yankees, Ruffing and Dickey. The City Series game between the White Sox and the Cubs was called off on account of the very, very inclement weather. It rained, it was cold, and just altogether too bad. While that hurts the coffers of the ball clubs, I don't believe they're crying very much, because it adds the Sunday game to the players' pool. The players share in the first 4 games, and the games now are 1 game at Wrigley Field tomorrow, games at Comiskey Park on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then back to Wrigley Field. So the players now share in the Sunday game, which should come close to being at the Patsy House, weather permitting. Breaks have started to play a part in the World Series. Breaks and temperament are liable to play a big part in the City Series. I wonder if, knowing these players intimately, having known them, most of them been with the Chicago clubs and some of them before that, it wouldn't be sort of a good idea to go down these various lineups and picture the personalities of the men, because personalities do play a big part in a short series when everything depends on what's going to happen. Take Rip Ratcliffe, the White Sox leadoff man. There's a fellow who is much better than a 300 hitter. He's a fellow who may go through the first 2 or 3 times at bat in the ball game without getting on base. And then all of a sudden, when the going gets tough, he comes up with that single or double to drive in runs. He's driven in 82 runs this year. Or get on base to score runs. He scored 120 himself, making 207 hits. One of the 2 members of the White Sox has gone over the 200-hit mark, Appling being the hunt to the other with 204. And you have a man who is dangerous right down to the last ditch. and a fellow who is very, very sure on a fly ball, although he has had trouble with ground ball. Larry Rosenthal is a youngster who is just a little bit inclined to try too hard this year, his first year, and he might choke up in a clinch. On the other hand, if they let up for a minute, he's going to powder that ball and cause trouble. Muehlhaus is a veteran. His record of only 46 runs batted in and 76 runs scored, and a batting average of 285 doesn't really tell what Mule can do, because it's those tough runs that he drives in when the going gets tough, and that's the answer. Zeke Ventura is a big, happy-go-lucky guy who'd rather hit than anything else in the world, and you can't get him down whether it's a City Series, World Series, or just a spring practice game. And with 138 runs already batted in this year, look out for Zeke under any circumstances. I don't believe I have to talk about Luke Appling and his temperament. They kid about the fact that he always is celebrating a sore arm or a sore ankle or something, but that's in the clubhouse or on the bench when he's talking about it. Out there in the field, he never quits. He's driven in 128 runs, scored 111, made 204 hits, led both leagues with an average of 388, and he's going to be plenty tough. Hayes is another fellow who drives in runs. He was at bat only 416 times this year and made 130 hits, but drove in 86 runs. That's what counts. Jimmy Dykes is another fellow who is tough with men on bases, and Luke Sewell is noted as a man to drive in tough runs. On the Cubs side, Golan can get on base, but unless he does, he's had a slightly bad year, why the Cubs don't go so well. Cavrat is a question. In the last few games of the season, he went pretty well, but whether he can continue to do that in a short, important series is a question. He didn't do it in the World Series. Billy Herman ended the season in a terrific slump, and it's more than due to come out of it, and if he's out of it, everybody better look out. I see the time has moved around again, so come in, Fort Pearson.
Yes, and now just a word to all you folks who like to go out to the kitchen and raise the refrigerator for a bite to eat before going to bed. Most of us will be getting that urge a little later this evening, I know. Well, here's my tip. Remember to ask your grocer for Kellogg's cornflakes tomorrow. Enjoy them for breakfast, lunch, or supper. But be sure that they're handy for a crisp and tasty snack at bedtime. Kellogg presents Hal Totten with his inside story on baseball each day at this time except Sunday. This is the National Broadcasting Company, WENR, the voice of service in Chicago. And it's now 30 seconds until 7 p.m. We're leaving there in favor of WLS.
Good evening, friends. You're now listening to WLS, the voice of Prairie Farmer, America's oldest farm paper, Chicago. We join with the facilities of the National Broadcasting Company to bring you our first feature of the evening.
CFL in Chicago. Your new fall suit is ready at Morris B. Sachs, 6638 South Halsted Street. Sachs is offering stylish, beautifully tailored two-trouser suits in all the smart fall fabrics at only $24.50 on credit with a smile. It will pay you to see them soon. We leave our studios now as we take you to Wrigley Field for the first game in the City Series between the Cubs and the Sox.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're speaking to you from Wrigley Field, the home of the Cubs of Chicago, to bring you this afternoon the first game, which has proved to be the first game of the City Series between the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox. The game is about to start, and there go the Cubs out onto the field, but before the Cubs take the field, they'd like to give the lineup for the game to be played this afternoon. For the White Sox, who are the first ones to come to bat, as they're the visitors from the south side, the battery will be Vern Kennedy on the mound, and Luke Sewell behind the bat, the battery. And the batting order, Rip Radcliffe, left field, Larry Rosenthal, center field, Muehlhaus, right field, Zeke Ventura, third base, Luke Appling, shortstop, Jackie Hayes, second base, manager Jimmy Dykes, third base, Luke Sewell catching, and Vern Kennedy pitching. For the Chicago Cubs, the battery, Bill Lee on the mound, Gabby Hartnett behind the bat. And the batting order, Augie Galan, center field, Joe Cavaretta, third base, Billy Herman, second base, Frank Demery, right field, Stanley Hack, third base, Gabby Hartnett, catching, Johnny Gill, left field, Bill Jurgis, shortstop, and Bill Lee, the pitcher. The game is just about to start. The umpires are all going to their positions, and incidentally, we might remind you that the umpires for this afternoon, from the National League, the umpires, Barr and Stewart, and for the American League, McGowan and Ormsby. The day is quite overcast, and the wind is coming out of the northwest. Not a very strong wind, a very sluggish wind, as we would say, but in the grandstand, there are about 18,000 people. Just about 18,000 people. Now, there at bat is Rip Radcliffe. The first ball has been thrown, strike one. He swings and puts the second one right down the right field line, and he is out by a play at first base by Frank Demery, taking the ball on the bounce. Running over and stepping on first base, retiring Rip Radcliffe. And that brings Larry Rosenthal to bat. Larry Rosenthal at bat. Here's the wind-up and the pitch. The first ball comes over. Ball one. So the strike is one ball on Larry Rosenthal. There's the wind-up. Big Bill Lee taking that slow wind-up. And here's the pitch. Strike two. Strike two. Two strikes on Larry Rosenthal. The second man at bat with one man out in the first inning for the White Sox. Now he's running up the ball out there on the mound. Big Bill Lee putting the mitt back on again. Here it is. That slow swinging wind-up. And the pitch. Ball two. Ball two and strike one on Larry Rosenthal. Two balls and one strike on Larry Rosenthal. Watching for his sign. Bill Lee gets his sign. Here's the wind-up, the cover, and the pitch. And it is over the outside corner. Now it missed the outside corner by about an inch for ball three. So the count is 3 balls and 1 strike on Larry Rosenthal of the White Sox in the first half of the first inning of the first game of the City Series. A lot of firsts on that one. Here is the pitch. And it is strike two. 2 balls and 3 strikes. He's run the count out to the end. Here comes the big one. He's watching for his sign. Getting his sign from Gabby Hartnett. Here is the wind-up and the pitch. And he is called out on strike. Called out on strike for Larry Rosenthal. That makes 2 outs in the first inning for the White Sox. And he was called out. He didn't even swing. You can't make base hits unless you take that bat off the shoulder. And that brings Newhouse, the donkey to bat. Standing up there, a left-handed hitter, short and stocky. It looks as if he could well it out of the ballpark. So he really caught a hold of it, and he can. Here's the windup on the first pitch to Newhouse. And it is ball one. The first ball pitch, ball one to Newhouse. Right fielder of the Chicago White Sox. Here's the windup and the next pitch. And it is ball two. Wide and low on the outside corner for ball two. Ball two, so Newhouse is at bat with 2 balls, no strikes. 2 men out in the first half of the first inning. Big Bill winding up there again. Here's the stretch and the pitch. And it is 3 balls and no strikes. Big Bill Lee seems to have lost that control for which he is so truly famous. Winding up again to make another pitch. See if we can't get it down the middle this time. And it is strike one. Strike one, so that brings the count to 3 balls and 1 strike on Newhouse. Neil waiting for it there, all ready to trot it over the fence. He hits the second one down to shortstop, Luke Appling. Direction. There he comes over to first base, and he is out when Phil Cavaretta took it from Bill Durkis and retired the side. Bill Durkis to Phil Cavaretta at first, retiring the side with 3 outs. No runs, no hits, and no errors in the first half of the first inning for the White Sox. And now let's see if we can't get into the side for the White Sox. The White Sox coming to bat in the last half of the first inning. The Cubs coming to bat in the last half of the first inning. And there on the mound now, warming up, is Vern Kennedy. The pitcher for the White Sox, and behind the bat, Luke Sewell. Luke Sewell doing the catching for the White Sox today. And the first man at bat for the Cubs in the last half of the first inning brings out little Augie Gallant. Augie Gallant, who hits right and left. And against the right-handed pitching of Vern Kennedy, will hit left-handed. Goes the ball out to second base, over to the shortstop, tossing it around the infield, and back to the pitcher, Vern Kennedy. Vern Kennedy is scratching up the mound now, getting it set for his particular style of pitching. And Augie Gallant is in the batter's box to face Vern Kennedy of the White Sox. There's the swing and the cover, and the pitch on the first ball, and it is high and wide for ball one. Lining up for the second pitch. Here's the pitch. Right down the alley for strike 2. Strike 1. Ball 1 and strike 1. Second half of the first inning, retiring Augie Gallant. A fly to center field, taken by Rosenthal of the White Sox. And that brings Bill Cavaretta, Cubs first baseman, to bat. Bill is batting .273 this year, a left-handed hitter, facing Vern Kennedy. Kennedy looking around the field, calling in his infield just a little bit, changing their positions to make the hit if a hit is made. And there's a pitch. Hit out into left center. And Rip Radcliffe is waiting for it and makes the catch for 2 outs. 2 out in the last half of the first inning. The catch made by Rip Radcliffe of the White Sox. So it's 2 out. And that brings Billy Herman up to bat, a right-handed hitter. He's up there, snapping the plate, putting the catch down, getting himself adjusted. Waiting for the first pitch. All ready for the first pitch. Here is the wind-up, pedal, and the pitch, and he hits it. An infield grounder going down to the third baseman across to Bill Cavaretta, and he is out by an eyelash, retiring the side with no runs, no hits, and no errors. So the White Sox come to bat in the first half of the second inning with a score tied, 0-0 at the end of the first inning. Cubs have taken the field. The White Sox have all gone back down into their dugout over beside first base over there. Incidentally, the White Sox look very fresh in their gray uniforms, and the Cubs in their white home uniforms are also looking very fresh. Seems to me the whole park is all dressed up for this first game of the City Series. The field is just as green as it can be, and it seems to be a very enthusiastic crowd out here this afternoon of about 18,000. Big Bill Lee is warming up out there with Gabby Harkness now. There goes the ball to second base. Around the field, around the infield, and back to the pitcher. And now, stepping into the batter's box is Zeke Venora. Big first baseman of the White Sox, ready to take the first pitch. Bill Lee winds up, throws, and it is ball one. Ball one high and outside from a right-handed hitter. Looking for his sign. He has it. Here's the windup. And the pitch. And it is strike one, bringing the count to 1-1 on Big Zeke Venora. The first hitter in the first half of the second inning for the White Sox. Taking his position again. Bill Lee watching for his sign. He has it. Winding up. And the pitch. Bill. He hits it out into center field. It's way high, going out there, and center fielder Augie Gallant makes the catch for the first out in the first half of the second inning. That applause that you hear, ladies and gentlemen, is for Luke Appling, shortstop of the Chicago White Sox, coming to bat in the first half of the second inning. Luke Appling, incidentally, is hitting at .388. His season record was .388. The first pitch, he hits it out to right field. It's a high fly going out there, and Frank Demery runs over, makes the catch, and it's 2 out in the first half of the second inning against the White Sox. 2 out, which brings Jackie Hayes to bat. Second baseman of the Chicago White Sox, who has been hitting this year .312. Hitting average of .312, a dangerous hitter in any man's league. And the first pitch, and he hits it out to right field. And Frank Demery is running in, and he catches it, and it is 3 out. No runs. No hits, and no errors in the first half of the second inning for the Chicago White Sox, which brings the Chicago Cubs to bat in the last half of the second inning. And the first man up, he is right fielder Frank Demery, who made the last out in the first half of the second inning. Frank Demery coming to bat. On the mound now, the White Sox have taken the field. The outfielders are going out to their positions. The infielders are all out to positions, throwing the ball around. Vern Kennedy warming up with Luke Stool. And here comes the first hitter to bat in the second half of the second inning for the Cubs, Frank Demery, right fielder. Frank Demery, incidentally, has been hitting, and his record this year has a percentage of .348, a dangerous hitter. Now we're ready for the first pitch. Kennedy getting his sign from Luke Stool. Here's the windup and the pitch. And it is ball one, high and inside to a right-handed hitter. Ball one and no strikes. The first hitter in the second half of the second inning. Here's the next pitch. Right down the heart of the plate for strike one. So the count is 1-1. On Frank Emery, 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch got away from Luke Stool that time. The ball went all the way through for ball 2. So far outside that even Luke Stool couldn't catch it. It went all the way back to the screen for 2 balls and 1 strike. The count on Frank Emery. Vern Kennedy seems to be a little bit wild out there right now. Getting his sign now, peddling the ball there. Wow, that one very nearly took his hat off that time. He had to duck underneath and get away from it. Frank Emery almost hit in the peak of the cap for ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike on Frank Emery. You can almost say that there's a little bit of dusting off going, but inasmuch as it's the first one that's been anywhere near a hitter, I don't think we can say that safely. The throwback from Luke Stool was wide, and Mr. Kennedy had to walk out off the mound in order to pick the ball up in the infield. Nobody going to help him at all. Here's the next pitch, and it was right down the heart of the plate, and Frank Emery let it go by for strike 2. So the string has run out to the end. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Frank Emery. The next pitch, he hits it, a high fly into short center field. Going back for it is the second baseman. Jackie Hayes took the fly and made the out. So it is 1 out in the last half of the second inning, which brings Stanley Hack to bat. Stanley Hack coming to bat, the second hitter in the last half of the second inning for the Cubs. The score stands 0-0. The Cubs at bat. Stanley Hack, a left-handed hitter, batting 307 this year for the entire season. There's the windup by Kennedy on the pitch. He hits it, a ground ball right into the box. Kennedy takes it and throws it to Zeke Ventura for the second out in the second inning. So that was an out from Kennedy to Ventura for the second out in the second inning, which brings Gabby Hartnett, that popular catcher of the Chicago Cubs, to bat. Seem to have a few dissenting votes about that popularity here in the South, but nonetheless, they must have been south side where the Luke Stool comes up there, and they'll get in this year. Here's the first pitch to Gabby Hartnett, and it is ball 1, inside and low to a right-handed hitter. Big Gabby Hartnett, if he gets a hold of the bird, going over those bleachers. The second pitch, ball 2. Mr. Kennedy's getting himself in a hole. Gabby Hartnett this year, incidentally, had a hitting average of 307. 307 Gabby Hartnett's batting average. Watch for his sign. He has it. Luke Stool. And here's the pitch. Fouled it high into the first deck of the right field stand, right down back of first base. Had quite a scramble for the ball. Seems to settle down now. Somebody got it. New ball was thrown out by the umpire, rubbing it up a little bit, get the shine off the ball, looking around the field. Incidentally, no men on base. 2 outs. 2 balls and 1 strike on Gabby Hartnett. Here's the pitch by Kennedy. Started to swing at it, but stopped, pulled back to let it go by for a ball high and outside for ball 3 and strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike on Gabby Hartnett. Here's the pitch. He swings and goes down striking. Striking out for the third out in the second inning. Well, 2 strikes. He lines the next one out into right field. Mulehouse going back after it, and he makes the catch for the third out. So Gabby Hartnett went out after all. Flying out to Mulehouse in right field for the third out in the second inning. Making it no runs, no hits, and no errors. And that brings to bat in the first half of the third inning Jimmy Dykes, third baseman for the Chicago White Sox, and the third baseman is also the manager in this particular instance. There's Big Bill Lee warming up with O'Day. O'Day warming up Big Bill Lee, while Gabby Hartnett, who was the last man to hit, gets on his catching card, chest protector and so forth. He seems to be doing himself a very nice warm-up out there. He hasn't missed the plate in 5 throws. There's a 6th throw right to the heart of the plate. There it goes out to second base, over to shortstop, over to third base, across to first, and back to the pitcher. And here comes the bat for the White Sox in the first half of the third inning, Jimmy Dykes, their third baseman. Already, Big Bill Lee gets his sign. Here is the windup and the pitch, and he hits the first one up. Sure base hit out into right field, and he pulls up at first base. But Frank Emery makes a quick throw into second. So that puts Jimmy Dykes on first base. No out. The first half of the third inning. Bringing to bat Luke Stool, catcher for the Chicago White Sox. Setting the sign now. Jimmy Dykes on first base. Big Bill Lee winding up out there. Here's that stretch. Settles the ball, looks at first on the pitch. And it is strike one, right down the heart of the plate. Looks as if Lipscomb was going to sacrifice that time to get Jimmy Dykes to second base, but it was a strike over the heart of the plate that he let go by for a called strike. So he looks at first base, pitches, and it is a hit right back to the pitcher, through to second, and it's a fast double play. A fast double play from Big Bill Lee to Jackie Hayes to Phil Cavaretta to double Jimmy Dykes. So that makes it 2 outs in the first half of the second inning. A fast double play by Big Bill Lee. Bringing to bat, Vern Kennedy, the pitcher. Winds it up, and the pitch. He hits the ground ball down to the shortstop and throws it across the first. Bill Cavaretta stepping on first for the third out in the third inning for the White Sox. So that makes it no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Bringing to bat in the last half of the third inning, Chicago Cubs coming to bat. This is the first game of the City Series between the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox. Bringing to bat Johnny Gill, left fielder for the Chicago Cubs. 261 for Johnny Gill. He's a left-handed hitter. He's knocking the mud out of his strike, having been out there in the field, just coming in, and he is ready. Umpire says play ball. The warm-up is over, and now he's getting in time for the first pitch, and there it is. It is ball one. Ball one, high and outside to a left-handed hitter. Vern Kennedy getting his next signal. Swing right up, and he throws. Gill hits a high fly over into the second deck of the left field stand. Everybody standing around moving as one man. But 1 ball and 1 strike on Johnny Gill. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And it is high and outside for ball 2. Running the count to 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike on Johnny Gill. Left fielder for the Chicago Cubs up in the last half of the third inning. Kennedy looking around the outfield, calling his fielders in a little bit. Here's the pitch. Started the swing, stopped, and the ball was called low and outside for ball 3, making the count 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike on Johnny Gill. Here's the next pitch, and he hits it. A short bounder in the infield. Kennedy going over, he fumbles the ball, he can't get it, and Johnny Gill is safe at first base. With a little infield scratch hit, Johnny Gill arriving at first base. So that puts a man on first, nobody out. In the last half of the third inning for the Chicago Cubs. Bringing to bat Bill Dietrich, shortstop of the Chicago Cubs. It's already in the batter's box with Johnny Gill holding first base. Walking up there, tapping on the plate. Vern Kennedy knocking the mud out of his spike. Incidentally, the field is very nice and dry. There he is, winding up, and the pitch. There's a high fly. It looks as if it might be fair. No, it goes foul into the boxes back of third base. So it's 1 strike on Bill Dietrich in the last half of the third inning. 1 strike is the count. The man on first and nobody out. Putting his glove back on out there on the mound. He steps onto the rubber. Here's the trouble. Throws to first, but Gill is back in time very safely. Holding him very close as Johnny Gill is a very fast man. Any kind of a hit will get him to second. He's taking his lead off. There's the pitch. Tried to bunt, and it was a strike. He very nearly missed it entirely, but just managed to tip it underneath the catcher's glove, and it went back to the screen for strike 2. So it's 2 strikes on Bill Dietrich. 2 strikes and no balls. Looking around the field out there, Vern Kennedy is. Whereas Johnny Gill holding first base very close. He looks over there, holding him as close as he can. Here's the pitch. And it's another foul up into the upper deck of the stand. Back of third base, the right field stand. Cap fell all the way over the chairs and almost fell out of the upper deck trying to get that ball. Nonetheless, the ball game goes on as Vern Kennedy almost hung over the ledge that time, trying to get down into the boxes, but nothing extra. Here comes the pitch, and he strikes out. Strike 3, making it 1 out. Bill Dietrich struck out for 1 out, leaving Johnny Gill on first base. And that brings to bat Big Bill Lee, the Cubs pitcher, and he's hitting for himself. 1 out, right-handed hitter as he pitches. Kennedy is on the mound there. stepping onto the rubber now. Here's a cuddle and a pitch. Ball one. The ball gets away from Sewell, backing up the plate, but he manages to hold Gill on first base. Kutch pulled a hit ball on him that time, making out that he saw it at second. Kennedy back on the mound again, kicking the dirt around, watching first base, see that Gill doesn't have too big a lead. So he steps on the rubber, Gill takes his lead, and he throws back first. But Johnny Gill gets back in time so that Big Benora can't get him and get him off for the second out. Here's the pitch, and it's another foul. A foul up under the screen back of home plate for strike one. So it's ball one and strike one on Big Bill Lee, the pitcher of the Chicago Cubs. Another ball is thrown out. Vern Kennedy rubs it up, watches first base while he does so to keep Johnny Gill as close as he can. Not going to let him have any lead to get to second base if it's possible. Steps onto the rubber. Here's the pitch. And still Lee swings and hits it right out into center field. Hits it into center field with Larry Rosenthal coming in fast and making the catch for the second out. So it's 2 outs in the third inning for the Chicago White Sox, leaving Johnny Gill on first base. Only one hit so far. This Johnny Gill, incidentally, is the first hit off of Vern Kennedy. There been no hits made off of, there was one hit made off of Big Bill Lee. Here's Kennedy's first pitch to Augie Galland. And it is ball one. Ball one, low and outside to a left-handed hitter. Winding up. Here's the pitch. And it is ball two. High and outside to a left-handed hitter. Into Walter's control. Pitching to Augie Galland. Augie Galland up with 2 men out. Johnny Gill on first base. Kennedy watching for his sign from the mound out there. He has it. Looks at first base. Gill takes his lead. Throws very listlessly over to Big Benora. And Johnny Gill has plenty of time to get back and not even close. Watching it. Here's the pitch. And it is low. For ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes on Augie Galland, center fielder of the Chicago Cubs, who has an average this year 265. Here's the pitch, and it is strike one. Let that one go by without even swinging at it, hoping it might be a ball 4. Kennedy looks at first, steps on the rubber. Here's the pitch, and it is ball 2. Oh, correction, ball 4, and he gets the base on balls, putting Augie Galland on first base, moving Bill Turgis, or Johnny Gill, correction. Johnny Gill to second base. Second base on that base on balls for Augie Galland. And that brings Phil Cavaretta, first baseman, to bat. Vern Kennedy on the mound, getting his sign with 2 men on, 2 men out. Here's the pitch, and he swings at the high fly across center field. Center fielder Larry Rosenthal running in on it. And it was, the catch was made by Luke Sewell, who also was calling for it. Correction, not Luke Sewell. No, Luke Appling. You don't mind if we put him out there at shortstop. It was Luke Appling out there who made the catch for the third out, retiring the side. So it's 3 outs, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. 2 men left on. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the third inning, the Cubs and the White Sox are tied 0-0. 0-0 is the score. That brings the White Sox to bat. First man at bat in the first of the 4th is Rip Ratcliffe. Left fielder and leadoff man for the Chicago White Sox has an average this year of 335. Rip Ratcliffe coming up the bat, knocking the mud out of his spikes with a score 0-0. Stepping up there, and Big Bill Lee is on the mound. He has his sign, Gabby Hudson behind the bat. Here's the windup for the first pitch, and he throws. And it is ball 1. Over the plate, but high for ball 1, called on Rip Ratcliffe. Ripper steps out of the box for a minute, then he steps back in again. There's that swinging windup and the pitch. He hits it. It's a ground ball down to Phil Cavaretta. Cavaretta running over, throws it to Bill Lee, and it's out. 1 out in the first half of the 4th inning. Cavaretta taking the hit, throwing to Big Bill Lee, who covered first. So it is 1 out in the first half of the 4th inning. That brings to bat Larry Rosenthal. Center fielder of the White Sox. Left-handed hitter. Here's the windup for the first pitch. And the throw. He hits it. It's a base hit out to right field. A base hit to right field. A quick throw in holds him at first. Oh, the ball got by. Gabby Hartnett came clear into the plate when Bill Cabrera missed the throw that was made from Frank Demaree. Missed the throw. But Gabby Hartnett retrieved quick enough to hold Larry Rosenthal at first base. He didn't have time to advance to second, although it was a very wild throw. So it didn't cost anything for the Cubs on that wild throw from Frank Demaree to Bill Cabrera, which was backed up by Gabby Hartnett. So that puts one man on base, a single, putting Larry Rosenthal on first with Neil Haas at bat. First one is strike one, a foul. A foul to the left of the plate. And a nice long lead off there with that one. One out. Larry Rosenthal on first, Neil Haas at bat. Here's the wind-up for the next pitch. A base throw to second, and it's, well, we can't tell. They haven't called the thing yet. Yes, it's caught off second on that hit to off the plate. And through to Jackie Hayes at second to cut down for the second out. Neil Haas credited with a hit is on first base. And that brings Zeke Benora at bat. First baseman of the White Sox. Here's the pitch. And it is high and inside. Well, it wasn't inside. It caught the inside corner for strike one. It was high. But it was strike one. One strike on Zeke Benora. Here's the windup and the pitch. He hits it. And he's double down at second base. Neil Haas, in going down to second, was caught by Jackie Hayes when Jurgis caught that short infield hit of Luke Apple for Zeke Benores and threw to second, getting Haas as he went to second from first. So 3 out, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. The last half of the 4th inning, Cubs coming to bat, bring Billy Herman, second baseman of the Chicago Cubs, first man up, face Vern Kennedy. Vern Kennedy warming up with the stool out there now. There's the ball out to second base and back to the pitcher. Already talking it up a little bit out there in the field now. Kennedy looking around, who's going to hold this boy. Billy Herman, the first man at bat, the last half of the 4th inning. Kennedy watching for a sign. He has it. Here's the wall at the pitch, and it's a high fly to short center field. Center fielder Augie Galan coming in, calls for it, and makes the catch for the first out. So it's 1 out, the last half. I better get the right team out there in the field, don't you think? It was Larry Rosenthal that made that catch, incidentally, center field. And that brings to bat Frank Demaree. Frank Demaree at bat. Here's the windup and the pitch. And it is strike one right down the heart of the plate. Frank Demaree, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And it is strike 2, right in the same place. Frank Demaree seems to be just a little bit put out about that. He thought that was a ball. But anyway, it's 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. He swings. It's a hit out into center field. Larry Rosenthal coming in, calling for it, and he makes the catch. 2 outs in the last half of the 4th inning for the Cubs. 2 outs. Left-handed hitter. Been hitting .298 through the end of the season this year. He's up there waiting for the first pitch. Kennedy watching for his sign. He has it. There's that swing and the pitch. He hits it. Going down the left field line, but back into the stands for a foul. Strike 1. Strike 1 on Stanley Hack. There's the new ball thrown out by Luke Stool, the umpire. Kennedy roughing it up. Standing on the mound there watching for his sign. Steps onto the rubber and throws. Pitch is low and outside, very low and outside. In fact, Luke Stool had to dig it out of the dirt. So it's ball 1 and strike 1 on Stanley Hack. also is low and outside for ball 2. Running the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on Stanley Hack. There's the wind-up again. Settles the ball in front of the pitch. Oh, that was so high that Luke had to jump into the air to catch it, making it 3 balls and 1 strike. Kennedy walks toward the plate and right out to the edge of the mound from the stool. Can't seem to get a hold of that ball this afternoon. Kicking the dirt round out in front of the mound. Steps back up onto the mound, got his foot on the rubber, watching for his sign. There's the wind-up and the throw. And it is strike 2, running the count out to the end. Bring his run out to the end, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Stanley Hack with 2 outs. There's the pitch, and he hits it, going out toward left field. Back into the stands for no count. Oh, that was a good one. Man tried to catch it, stepped up onto the bars, protecting the seat, fell right on his head coming up with the ball, but he made it. Yes, he made the catch. It's going to make Larry Rosenthal, Rip Ratcliffe over there get up on their toes. All right, here's the next one. The string is out to the end, and it is ball 4. Ball 4, and Stanley Hack gets the base on ball, putting him on first base with 2 out in the last half of the 4th inning. 2 out, bringing Gabby Hartman to bat. Gabby's getting a nice hand from the fans as he walks slowly up to the plate. Adjusting his feet on his cap, looking out there, makes a few signs, has a little bit of talking to Vern Kennedy. Tapping on the plate there. Just about ready now. Steps into the batter's box. Kennedy rustled him out a little bit, get a better foothold. He steps onto the rubber, watches first base, throws, and it is ball 1. Throwing inside to Gabby Hartman. 2 out in the last half of the 4th inning. It's scoring 0-0. Stanley Hack on first base. Last man on first, taking his lead off first now. As Kennedy steps on the mound, he throws back to first, and Hack gets back in time, so that there's no count. So the count on Gabby Hartman now is 1 ball and no strikes. He throws it to hit right through the box, back into the center field. He throws to first, and Gabby is out for the 3rd out, retiring the side with no runs, no hits, and no errors. At the end of the 4th inning. 1 man left on base. And got on base from a walk. That was Stanley Hack. And from the fans as he walks right up the plate. Adjusting his feet on his cap. Looking out there. Makes a few signs. Was a little bit of talking to Vern Kennedy. Slapping on the plate there. Just about ready now. Steps into the batter's box. Kennedy rustled him out a little bit, get a better foothold. He steps onto the rubber, drops his first base, throws, and it is ball 1. Throwing inside to Gabby Hartman. 2 out, the last half of the 4th inning. It's scoring 0-0. Stanley Hack on first base. The last man on first, taking his lead off first now. As Kennedy steps on the mound, he throws back to first, and Hack gets back in time, so that there's no count. So the count on Gabby Hartman now is 1 ball and no strikes. He throws it to hit right through the box, back into the center field. He throws to first, and Gabby is out for the 3rd out, retiring the side with no runs, no hits, and no errors. At the end of the 4th inning. 1 man left on base. And got on base from a walk. That was Stanley Hack. So far, Mr. Kennedy has allowed only 1 hit, whereas Big Bill Lee has allowed 2 hits so far. Now Bill Lee is out on the mound there warming up with Ruby Groove, who start the first half of the 5th inning. First man at bat in the first half of the 5th inning is the batting champion of both leagues this year, Luke Applin, shortstop of the Cubs-White Sox. Bill Lee winding up, pitching out there for his warm-up. Taking a little bit of time as Gabby Hartman was back the last time and had to take time to get his catching toss on. There he comes out, backing down behind the plate as Luke Applin comes to bat. The first half of the 5th inning is scoring 0-0. There's Bill Lee at first pitch. He winds up in the throw, and it is strike 1, catching the inside corner. Strike 1. 1 strike. The next pitch he throws, and it is low and inside, missing the inside corner this time for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The count on Luke Applin. Shortstop, the White Sox, here's the cover, and the pitch he throws. He hits it at the boundary of the short. Oh, foul ball. Foul ball down the left field line, back at third base. Bringing Lou Kaplan back to resume his inning, while Gabby Hartnett steps into the batter's box and goes through the pantomime of hitting against Vern Kennedy, which he successfully did last time, but due to the lack of speed, didn't make first base. Got Stanley Hack out to third, out at second. Lou Kaplan coming back now. He has his guy stepping into the batter's box. So it's 2 strikes and 1 ball on Lou Kaplan. First man at bat in the first half of the fifth inning. It's 4-0 to nothing. 2 strikes and 1 ball. Here's the windup, the cutter, and the pitch. He fouls this one high, in fact, over the roof of the second deck of the stand to the right of first base. So it's still 2 strikes and 1 ball on Lou Kaplan. Rubbing up the new ball out there, winding up. Here's the pitch. And it's low and inside. Had to jump back to get away from that one. There's the windup. Well, he fouls that one onto the screen, back to the plate. Leaving the count at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Lou Kaplan. The ball is thrown in. Running it up a little bit. Big Billy looking around the field. Keeping everybody's in position. Incidentally, the sun has come out very brightly now, and there's a very listless wind blowing, and it's really bright. Here's the pitch. And it is ball 3. Making the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Running the string out to the end on Lou Kaplan. First man at bat in the first half of the fifth inning. Here comes the next pitch. He throws. And it is ball 4. Ball 4. Lou Kaplan gets to first base. Walks to first base. Putting a man on first with nobody out in the first half of the fifth inning. And that brings to bat Jackie Hayes, second baseman of the Cubs-White Sox. Right-handed hitter. Big Billy getting his sign from the mound, watching first base. He throws. It's a hit. Right out of the left field. Lou Kaplan makes second base, rounds up the first, and goes back. As Johnny Gill makes a pass throw to third base. So it's a single to left field by Jackie Hayes. Putting Jackie Hayes on first, and Lou Kaplan on second base. The man on first and second, nobody out. The first half of the fifth inning, they're scoring 0-0. And that brings to bat Jimmy Dyke, first baseman and manager of the Chicago White Sox, the right-handed hitter. Runners are taking their lead on first and second as Big Billy gets his sign from the catcher. He stretches, no wind-up, and he throws. He's going to bunt, but it was a ball. High and close, high and inside to a right-handed hitter. So it's 1 ball on Jimmy Dyke. Nobody out in the fifth inning. Steps down to the rubber. Basemen take their lead again. He looks around. Steps off the rubber again. As they take too long a lead, they run back, tag up the base. Now there's the stretch. And the pitch. And it was high and outside, the ball 2. Ball 2 on Jimmy Dyke. First man at bat, man on first and second. Nobody out in the first half of the fifth inning, 4-0 to nothing. There's a point, it's right down the first base line. Cabrera comes in, throws the first. Oh, hits the runner. He's a man down, he's taking second. There comes the man in. And that scores Lou Kaplan. With Jackie Hayes going to third base. And Jimmy Dyke taking second base when the bunt, which was taken by Phil Cabrera and thrown to Big Billy, who covered first base, hit the runner in the arm as it was thrown in. So he got to second base, putting runners on second and third. Nobody out. Taking Jackie Hayes to third base. Jimmy Dyke to second on that bunt. Might be an error on the throw. And that brings to bat Luke Sewell, catcher. First ball is ball 1. Ball 2, they're walking him on purpose. Ball 2, here's the next one. Ball 3. And the next one will be high and wide also. Ball 4 to fill the bases, so there's a chance of a double play. 1-1 home. Jackie Hayes on third base, Jimmy Dyke on second base, and Luke Sewell on first base, loading the bases. And that brings to bat Vern Kennedy. Vern Kennedy hitting for himself with nobody out in the first half of the fifth inning, 1 run home. There he is, left-handed hitter. Here's the wind-up and the pitch. Low and outside for ball 1. Bases loaded, nobody out, 1 run home in the first half of the fifth inning. Getting it side. Here's the pitch. Swings and misses for strike 1, making the count 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Vern Kennedy. And first, second, and third, nobody out, 1-1 home. The first half of the fifth inning. The White Sox leading the Cubs 1-0. Here's the pitch. He hits it. Goes up, shortstop. Shortstop picks it up. Throws the first, and the man is out making 1 run. But Jackie Hayes scores for the second score. Advancing Jimmy Dykes to third base. And putting Luke Sewell on second base. With 1 man out. Vern Kennedy sacrificing. 1 man out. 2 runs home. Then on second and third. There's a high fly out there. Looks as if it might be. And it is. It's in the right field bleachers for a home run by Rip Raskin. The Ripper does it. The Ripper makes a home run, scoring Jimmy Dykes and Luke Sewell to score 3 more runs. 1 out in the fifth inning. Making the score now. 5-0 in favor of the White Sox with 1 man out. Bringing to bat Larry Rosenthal, center fielder for the Chicago White Sox. Larry Rosenthal, a home run into the right field bleachers by the Ripper. The Ripper came through and they needed it. Didn't need it so badly with 1, but anyway, if they needed it, out. Larry Rosenthal hit the first one. It looks as if it might be out of the box, but it's foul. It went back there just inside of the wall, out of right field, outside of the right field line. So it's 1 strike on Larry Rosenthal. Strike 1. 1 man out, 5 runs home. Nobody on base. Stepping out of the batter's box for a minute, get his instruction. Stepping back in now. There he is with 1 strike. Stepping up, and Big Bill Lee getting his sign. He has his sign. Here's the windup. And the pitch. He swings and hits it almost in the same place. This time it's going high and into the stands. Yes, into the stands for strike 2. High, long foul for strike 2 on Larry Rosenthal, center fielder of the White Sox. That's 2 strikes. 1 man out. 5 runs home in the fifth inning. Big Bill Lee rubbing up the ball, trying to get a sign down there that he thinks will be effective. Looking at Gabby Hartnett, watching him. He has his sign, his swinging windup, and the throw. He hits this one, a safe hit. Well, it wasn't a safe hit. It went right straight out there to Jackie Hayes. He threw it to Cavaretta, and he's out. There it goes around the field. That's the second out. So it's 2 men out. 2 men out. The last half, the first half of the fifth inning for the White Sox with 5 runs home. And that brings to bat Neil House. Right field of the White Sox. He hits the first one. Down goal the pitcher's head. Jurgis catches it, throws the first, and Cavaretta makes the out for the 3rd out in the first half of the fifth inning. In the last half of the fifth inning, coming to bat for the Cubs, brings Johnny Gill, the first man up. Johnny Gill, the first man up for the Cubs. Left-handed hitter. Been hitting .261 this year. Vern Kennedy on the mound. Getting his sign. Here's the windup, the throw. And it is ball 1. High and outside, the left-handed hitter. Johnny Gill, a left-handed hitter for the Cubs. Here's the throw. Swinging inside pitches for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Johnny Gill. First man up in the last half of the fifth inning for the Cubs. The White Sox leading by a score of 5-0. Here's the pitch. And it's low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike on Johnny Gill, first man up in the fifth inning. The swing, the pitch, and it's a high fly into center field. Luke Appling running back, calling for it, and he makes the catch for the first out of the fifth inning. With 1 out, bringing Bill Jurgis to bat. Bill Jurgis, right-handed hitter, stepping up into the plate. Kennedy looking around the field. Calling his men around a little bit. The right-handed hitter, here's the pitch. And it's a high fly into the upper deck of the right field stand for strike 1. 1 strike on Bill Jurgis. With 1 out in the fifth inning. There's a new ball going out to Kennedy, who rubs it up. Takes the shine off it a little bit. Looking around the outfield. Steps onto the rubber, gets his sign, with that swinging windup, Tuttle and the pitch. And it's right back to Kennedy. Caught it right in front of him and threw the first for the second out. He didn't have to move off the mound. It was right smack into his hand. That brings the bat to Lee, the pitcher. There'll be a pinch hitter for Lee this time, I believe. And the bullpen warming up for the Cubs. Next Stratton. Lillard will bat for Lee. Lillard is batting for Lee. And it's ball down. Get away from that one. It was ball one. High and inside. Right across the shoulders. He had expected to have a base on being hit with a fifth ball. Here's the next throw. Fouls that one. So it's ball one and strike one. Right up onto the screen in front of it. Ball one and strike one on Lillard. New ball thrown out to the pitcher. Rubbing it up now. So the count is 1-1. 2 men out. No runs home. White Sox leading 5-0. Lillard at bat. He throws. And it is ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike on Lillard. Here's the windup. And the next pitch. It's a high ball up onto the screen. Maybe it won't hit the screen. Or it's back into the boxes just to the right of the screen. Seems to be quite a tussle down there for the ball. Looks to trying to catch it, running back, snapping off his mask, but no go. No, a new ball is thrown out as they fight over that old one down there. Vern Kennedy roughing it up a little bit. Mucking up the mound there to get a toe hold there on the rubber. Watching for his sign, so it's 2-2 on Dean Lillard. Right-handed hitter, 2 out. Here's the windup with the pitch. Ball 3. Running the count out to the end, 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Dean Lillard. Jim hitting for Big Bill Lee. Ball goes back off the mound, watching for his sign, and suddenly the clouds clouding over a little bit, getting a little bit cooler up there. There's the pitch, and it is low and inside for ball 4. Now Lillard takes the base on ball, and that brings the bat Augie Galland. Augie Galland, who has flied out once and had 1 base on ball so far in this game. Lillard on first base on a walk. Here's the windup for the first pitch to Augie Galland. Lillard on first base to throw, and it's over the outside corner for strike 1. 1 strike on Augie Galland. The windup, lead off, the pitch. Hits the dirt in back of the plate for ball 1. So low that it hit the dirt back of the plate. So the count is 1-1, 1 ball and 1 strike on Augie Galland. 1 man on, 2 men out. White Sox leading by 4 out, 5-0. Lillard on first base. Galland at bat. Trying to get out. Bill Dietrich down. Coming back onto the mark. Kennedy wrapping it up again. Can't seem to be satisfied about rubber there. Steps in again. Watches first to throw. That's a hit. Right straight through the box out of the center field. Lillard down to second. On his way to third. Quick throw into second. Holds Augie Galland at first. So it's a single to center field by Augie Galland. Advancing Lillard to third base. So men on first and third, 2 men out. Bringing the bat, Bill Cabrera, first baseman of the Cubs. The average of 273. Hit this time will score a run. Left-handed hitter, Bill Cabrera. Looking around the infield is Kennedy, trying to hold Galland close. Here's the pitch, and it is high and outside for ball 1. 1 ball on Bill Cabrera. Watching for his sign, steps onto the rubber. Runner take their lead. Here's the pitch, and it is ball 2. Also high and outside. Over the outside corner to a left-handed hitter. Kennedy looking around the outfield out there, watching the runners on their bases, trying to hold them close. Looks at first, looks at third. Here's the pitch. It's a high fly out into right field. Right fielder Hillhouse coming under it. Makes the catch for the third out. So it's no runs. 1 hit. No errors. And 2 men left on the bases. Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we take a little bit of rest, as the White Sox come to bat in the first half of the 6th inning with good old Zeke Ventura at bat. I'm going to turn you over now to, here he is, George Watson. Okay, George?
Oh, thank you. I'm drinking up all your coffee, Fred, so If we can get these pipes. Rex Carlton is now pitching for the Cubs, ladies and gentlemen, replacing Bill Lee, who had a little tough luck by virtue of that ripping home run by Ripper Radcliffe that scored the 4 runs, putting the Sox in the lead 5-0 for the Cubs. Looks like Mr. Bonner is the first man up for the White Sox. Zeke Bonner, the first baseman for the White Sox, while Tex Carlton and Gabby Hartnett are throwing the ball back and forth, getting Tex warmed up. Ball goes out to second base. Missed, incidentally. Out into center field. The boys just having a little fun. Zeke Bonner is going to try to redeem himself now. He hasn't done so much today. But when that boy gets a hold of a baseball, it really goes for a ride. Am I right, Fred? Right. Now, you keep scoring these things now while I describe this play. Tex Carlton on the mound. There's the stretch and the pitch. Wide for ball 1. Ball 1 on Zeke Bonner. And again, he burns one down. And it's strike 1. 1-1 on Mr. Bonner. Went right through. Went right through Gabby Hartnett that time for ball 2. Ball 2 and strike 1 on the hitter. Tex Carlton roughing up the ball a little bit. Reaches for the rosin bag. See if he can't put something on this time to fool this man Bonner. 2 balls and 1 strike on Zeke. And it's 3 balls on Mr. Bonner. 3 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. And Mr. Bonner takes a walk for himself. Tex Carlton seems to have a little difficulty out there with that right arm of his today, kind of favoring it a little bit. Luke Appling, luscious Luke is at bat now, and the pitch. And it's ball 1. Zeke Bonner on first base, no outs, and the score 5-0 for the Southsiders. Tex Carlton getting his signal, the stretch, watching first base, and the pitch. And it's ball 2 on Luke Appling. The sun comes out intermittently, makes it a little more like baseball weather instead of football. The peak for the signal, and here is the pitch. Strike 1 and ball 2 on Luke Appling. Zeke Bonner still hugging first base. Getting his signal now, Tex Carlton is. The stretch. And the pitch, and there goes Zeke Bonner down to second, and he is out. Out trying to steal second for the first out on the Sox in the first half of the 6th inning. Zeke wasn't quite fast enough for that one. He made a nice slide, but the second baseman, Billy Harmon, nailed him as he slid in. So it's 1 out, and Appling is still at bat for 2 balls. And a nice single right between short and second. It's picked up by Augie Gallant at center, and let's see who's next. Jackie Hayes, the second baseman for the White Sox, is at bat. 1 out, and Luke Appling, by virtue of a single, is on first base. Jackie Hayes, the batter's box, swinging that bludgeon. Tex Carlton ready to pitch. Here it comes, and it's strike 1. Strike 1 on Jackie Hayes. Luke Appling on first base, and 1 out. And that's foul. Foul hit the ground and went back to the catcher into the screen. Pulling Luke back to first base. Tex Carlton getting his signal from Gabby Hartnett. Jackie Hayes at the plate. Getting ready to swing on this one, if it's a good one. And that was an underhand burner that came in there from Tex Carlton. And Mr. Jackie Hayes is walking toward the dugout by virtue of 3 strikes. So it's 2 out. Luke Appling on first base. 2 out in the first half of the 6th for the White Sox. With manager Jimmy Dykes coming to bat. The
batting manager of the South Side, and there goes... Oh, boy. Luke, in stealing second that time, collided with Billy Herman, and Billy dropped the ball. So we believe that yes, he is. Luke Appling is safe from stealing second base. 2 out, Luke Appling on second, and manager Jim at bat with 1 ball. Jimmy Dykes at bat. Jack Carlson pitching. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlson getting his sign from Gabby Hardnett as the pitch. And it was letter high. Seemed to me it cut the outside corner of the plate, but it was strike 2. Strike 2 and ball 1. Luke Appling on second base by virtue of a steal. Ball 2. Ball 2 and strike 2. Carlson, there's the stretch, and here comes the pitch. Underhand, and strike 3 for the 3rd out. That's it. Mr. Carlson just turned that one in underhand, and Jimmy Dykes took a wild roundhouse swing and then dropped the bat and went right over and got ready to go right back to work. So it's the last half of the 6th with the Cubs coming to bat, and Babe Herman. No, not Babe Herman, pardon me, Billy Herman. I wrote Billy Herman down here so I wouldn't get him mixed up with Babe Herman. Billy Herman, the second baseman, coming to bat for the Cubs in the last half of the 6th inning with the score still 5-0. Vern Kennedy pitching for the Cubs. Luke Sewell behind the plate. Boys talking it up down there, throwing the ball around the infield. I see Fowler's coffee over here, so excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'll take a sip. How about it, George? Kind of chilly up here. Well, the umpire's rushing off the plate. We're getting ready to play some baseball now. Billy Herman at bat. Last half of the 6th inning, score 5-0 for the White Sox. Kennedy ready to pitch. Getting a sign from Sewell, and here it comes. Right over the heart of the plate for strike 1. Strike 1 on Billy Herman. Ball 1. The set foul ready to strike at that, but thought better of it and let it go. So it's ball 1 and strike 1 on Billy Herman. Ball 2 on Billy Herman. Ball 2. And no strikes on Bill Herman. Ball 3 on Billy Herman. Mr. Kennedy seems to have lost the reins there momentarily. Looking around the infield now, getting a sign from Luke Sewell, and here's the pitch. And Billy Herman walks. Billy Herman walks in the last half of the 6th inning. Frank Demery is at bat. Frank Demery is a dangerous hitter. Now is his chance to do something. If the Cubs expect to get any scores to kind of show these Southsiders that this is Wrigley Field. Kennedy getting a sign from Sewell, and the pitch. Ooh, boy. Frank Demery had to pull away from that one. Ball 1. Ball 1 on Frank Demery. Billy Herman on first base by virtue of a walk. Ball 2. Ball 2 on Frank Demery. Pulling his cap down over his eyes, getting his sign from Luke Sewell, and the stretch. Oh, close to first base, and Billy Herman beats the throw, not having been very far away from the sack. Again, the pitch. Strike 1. Strike 1 and ball 2 on Frank Demery, the right fielder for the Cubs. The pitch, and a right. Not quite a double play. That ball was hit sharply to Zeke Ventura at first base, about 3 feet inside the first base line, and he threw to second to double Billy Herman, but couldn't quite get it back to first base. So Mr. Demery is safe at first with 1 out. They looked for a minute as it might have been a double play, but Zeke too high to the second baseman, and he couldn't get it back to him. So it's 1 out, and Stanley Hack at bat, a left-handed hitter. Brown is warming up for the White Sox out in the right field bullpen. Frank Demery at first base, and Stanley Hack at bat. 1-1 is the count on Stanley Hack. 1-1. The stretch, and the pitch. And Hack hit a nice right over third base out into left field. However, holding Demery to second. A nice sharp single out into left, right over third base, and holding Demery at second. That was made by our friend Mr. Stanley Hack with Gabby Hartnett coming to bat. Oh, Gabby. The one out and man on first and second. The right side of the pitch. Gabby took a wild round-out swing at that and just tipped it back onto the screen. Hack on first, Demery on second, and Gabby Hartnett at bat with strike one. Strike one on Gabby Hartnett. Kennedy watching for the sign. Evidently it's satisfactory, and here's the pitch. Gabby fouls one out to the right and is taken by Zeke Benora. A nice catch by Zeke Benora right over in front of the Sox dugout. So it's 2 out, and Johnny Gill at bat. 2 out, Johnny Gill at bat. Demery on second, Stanley Hack on first. Johnny Gill, left-handed hitter. Boy, has done some nice things with that bat at times. Now is his chance to show that it's still in good shape. Kennedy, however, pitching a very nice game today, getting out of some tight spots. So here we go, 2 out, man on first and second, and the last half of the 6th, with the Sox leading 5-0. The pitch, and he swings for strike one. Strike one on Johnny Gill. Kennedy getting ready now. There's the pitch. Johnny fouls one back here into the lower deck. And there's been more mad scrambles, foul balls out here today. I think Fred explained a few minutes ago about a chap over here to our left that took a nosedive right over the lower deck boxes there, went right on his head trying to get a ball. There we are, man on first and second, 2 out. Kennedy pitching. And Johnny Gill at bat. And he right into Luke Appling's hand for the third out. So there's 2 men left on bases. That ball just all Luscious Luke Appling had to do was just kind of bend down, and it landed right in his head. So here we go into the first half of the 7th, with the White Sox leading 5-0. Tex Carlson pitching now for the Cubs. Gabby Hartnett still catching, and of course all Chicago fans, both south side and north side, are standing up for Chapter 7. So George tells me this is the south side stretch now. Well, where is the north side? You got a day, and the boys warming up, talking it up out there. Those 5 runs are getting to look awfully big for the Sox. Warming up with Gabby, and the first man at bat for the White Sox in the first half of the 7th is Luke Sewell. Sewell at bat. Mr. Luke Sewell, who wears number 14, cleaning off his spikes. It's still just a little bit muddy out there, although the ground's in excellent condition for the rain that we've had. Getting ready, there's the pitch, and wow! He gets a hold of a nice one, and it goes right into the arms of Demery. Well, the hands of Demery, rather. What do we think this is, football? Nice hand for Vern Kennedy. He comes to bat. He's pitched a nice game today. He dispersed, of course, with a couple of hoots and hollers. Nevertheless, that hands to Vern Kennedy, who faces Tex Carlson, and the pitch, and he swings for strike one. Strike one on Vern Kennedy. And he hits one shot down to second base, and he is out. Ball being taken by Billy Herman. So it's 2 out now. Sewell and Kennedy both went out. Sewell flying out to Demery, and Kennedy to Billy Herman. At That brings up Ripper Radcliffe, the boy that knocked Hyde right off the ball here not so long ago out in the center field bleachers, putting those 4 runs across. Ball 2 on Ripper Radcliffe. And he gets a hold of another one. It's a sharp one, but it is being taken by Johnny Gill. So that retires the side the first half of the 7th inning. Now we're going to see how good a guess George is. Yes, he's right. Now comes the north side stretch. Well. Yeah, north side stretch now. In the last half of the 7th, Bill Dietrich is the first man at bat for the Cubs. Mr. William Dietrich. He plays a very nice game of shortstop. Kennedy warming up at Luke Sewell. Ball going out at the infield. Boys talking it up out there, rubbing their hands, get a little warm. Sun is not very warm today, and it only comes out very stingily. Kennedy on the mound, getting ready to pitch. The hitter is Bill Dietrich, shortstop for the Cubs. And the stretch and the pitch. And it's strike 1. Strike 1 on Billy Dietrich. And the crack went right through Kennedy, and the man comes up with it, and he is out. Yes, sir, that was a nice ball taken by Appling on a very, very fast bounce and thrown to Benora, putting Billy Dietrich right out of the picture. And Tex Carlton at bat. Tex Carlton, the Cub pitcher. That's left-handed against the right-handed pitching of Vern Kennedy. Ball 1 on Tex Carlton. Ball 1. Throwing that ball out of the game, tossed in a new ball, and Sewell is roughing it up a little bit for Kennedy. And back it goes to the pitcher's box. Mr. Kennedy puts his mark of a claim on it, and the stretch, and here it comes. Ball 2. Ball 2 on Tex Carlton. Ball 3 on Mr. Carlton. Oh, well. Oh, I'm sorry. Ball 2 and strike 1. I missed that one. And Tex gets a hold of a high fly that goes out to left center and is taken by Radcliffe. And it is 2 outs. Dougie Gallant at bat for the Cubs. The last half of the 7th. 2 outs. No runs, no hits, and no errors. Kennedy's very stingy with his hits today. In fact, he's pitching a very, very swell game for the Sox. And ball 2. Now Dougie Gallant. Ball 2. And 2 outs. Strike 1. Strike 1 and ball 2 on Augie Gallant in the last half of the 7th. Whoa! That one looked like a ball from here, but the umps called it a strike, and it cut the inside corner of the plate. And Augie Gallant made a feeble attempt at that last one. He just kind of wishy-washy, and it was the 3rd strike. So it's 3 outs. And we're coming into the first half of the 8th inning, and that score of 5-0 looks bigger and bigger all the time. Fred, will you give me just a little sip of that coffee? Why? I guess not. Thanks. It's awfully nice of you. Coffee just gave out all of it. Tex Carlton on the mound. Gabby Hartnett behind the plate. The boys tossing the ball around in center field. Giving a little warm. That was a good one, wasn't it? What? No coffee? The score, 5-0 for the Sox, coming in the first half of the 8th inning, and we find at bat Larry Rosenthal. This boy used to do a lot of baseball for St. Paul. Do you know that, Fred? Larry Rosenthal at bat. Carlton getting the sign, and here is the pitch. And Larry gets a hold of one. It's a short fly in. That's a single. And it's a... Well, he pulled the ball that time. That was just a Texas leaguer. He dropped into left center. I don't know what was the matter with Johnny Gill. He seemed to hesitate and just let that ball land right in front of him, and it developed into a two-bagger for Larry. So we have a man on second base with no out. And Bill Hawes at bat. Bill Hawes at bat. That was a funny one. Bill Hawes will try to lay down a bunt now and get this man Larry Rosenthal over to third. Strike one and ball one. I can't get over that one, Fred. Little old Texas leaguer. Johnny Gill just stood there and looked at it, dropped in front of him, and the man winds up at second base. Larry's awfully fast on the bags anyway. Man on second. And he swung it out, and it was a foul tip back of the catcher. So 2 strikes and ball one. On Bill Hawes. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. And Mr. Mulehall goes right back to the dugout by virtue of standing there and watching the third strike go by. 1 out. 1 out. Larry Rosenthal on second. And we have Zeke Manura at bat. With 1 ball. Monty Stratton is over there in the right field bullpen warming up for the Sox. Zeke Manura at bat. Ball 1 on Zeke. Ball 2 on Zeke. Larry Rosenthal still on second base, taking a little lead. And it's 1 out and the score 5-0 for the White Sox in the first half of the 8th inning. Ball 2 and strike 1 on Zeke Manura. Manura looks big enough to knock this ball right out of the park. An underhanded pitch from Tex Carlton, and it is strike 2. That looks kind of fans voicing disapproval of that one. Southsiders, of course. And Torres slams it back down on the ground, and he is out. Tex has got a little something on that ball. They're breaking very sharply over the outside corner, and they're still good. So it's now 2 out, and Luke Appling at bat. An old boy that's the leader of both leagues in batting this year. Larry Rosenthal still on second. Another one of those underhanded slants from Tex Carlton. 4-ball 1 on Luke Appling. And Luke gets a hold of one and fouls it out to the right, almost to the bullpen. Strike 1 and ball 1 on Luke Appling. 2 out. Larry Rosenthal on second. Score 5-0 for the White Sox. Tex Carlton pitching now, replacing Bill Lee, who started the game. And it is ball 2 and strike 1. Ball 2 and strike 1 on the hitter. That was just lobbed over. A very slow ball that just barely made the plate. Tex rubbing the rosin bag now on the ball and getting ready. Ball 3 and strike 1 on Luke Appling. And it's strike 2. Well, this one's got to be good, one way or the other. Larry Rosenthal still on second base, and 2 out. 4-4 on Luke Sewell. I mean, Luke Appling. What am I talking about? Luke Sewell. Jackie Hayes, second baseman for the Sox at bat. And it's ball 1. Jackie Hayes has a rather peculiar stance at the plate with his left leg stuck way out in front of the right, just as though he's going to whale the daylights out of it. Strike 1 and ball 1 on Jackie Hayes. Larry Rosenthal still on second base. And Luke Appling on first by virtue of a walk. Man on first and second. Score 5-0. First half of the 8th inning. Score 5-0 in favor of the Sox. The stretch and the pitch. And he gets a hold of one and right smack dab into Billy Herman's mitt. So leaves a man on first and second.
3 outs, no runs, no hits, no errors. Oh, I beg your pardon. That one hit. I missed that. Now we go into the last half of the 8th inning with the Cubs coming to bat was Phil Cavaretta. Phil Cavaretta, first baseman, at bat. Kennedy pitching a very nice ball game out there today, and so is Tex Cobb. Fred Fowler tells me that Kennedy's only allowed 4 hits. 4 hits in the ball game is not bad. With a lead of 5-0, he's in a very nice spot. Cavaretta at bat. Kennedy getting a sign from Luke Sewell. Cavaretta batting left-handed, of course. And here is the pitch. And Bill takes a hold of one and slams it right out into the midst of our friend Bill Hawes. So it's 1 out. It's a nice hit ball, but Bill just ran about 20 feet. Took it for the first out. 1 out. And Billy Herman at bat. Billy Herman, right-handed hitter. Kennedy gets the sign, and there it is, and it is strike 1. Right over the heart of the plate. Ball one and strike 1 on Billy Herman. The last half of the 8th inning. And Billy takes a wicked swing at that one, but fouled it out to the left. Where it was picked up by manager Charlie Grimm, who is now on third base coaching. Mr. Ratcliffe took care of that in great shape. There's the pitch. Strike 1 on Demery. Out over the heart of the plate, little to the outside. And the pitch. Strike 2, right in the same place. Cut that plate just a little to the outside, then about waist high. Ball 1 and strike 2 on Frank Demery. Frank digging in with his strikes there to get a foothold. As much as to say, well, boys, look out for this one. Yeah. Give me a good foothold, and, he's digging out. He found something. A little rock was in his way. Well, now we'll see. That probably helped matters. I'm glad we get a hold of this one. Demery at bat. 2 strikes and ball 1. Kennedy crossed him up that time by throwing a very, very slow ball, and Frank almost broke his back. The foul tip. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and ball 1. And the boos are set up. Kennedy completely crossed him that time. Burned in a fast one for ball 2. Ball 2 and strike 2 on Frank Demery. The pitch. Ball 3. Well, I would see if Frank, by digging that little rock out of there, did himself any good. 3-2 now. It's 2 out, and the pitch. And he whales one. Went foul. Looked fair for a while, but went foul in the extreme end of the left field boxes. Almost out to the wall. So still 2 strikes and 3 balls on Frank Demery. Last half of the 8th inning. The Sox leading 5-0. Score of 5 looks pretty big, doesn't it, Freddie? And the pitch. And the pitch. And he gets a hold of one and right smack dab into Billy Herman's mitt. Robbie's man on first and second. 3 outs, no runs, no hits, no errors. Oh, I beg your pardon. That 1 hit. I missed that. Now we go into the last half of the 8th inning with the Cubs coming to bat was Phil Cavaretta. Phil Cavaretta, first baseman, at bat. Kennedy pitching a very nice ball game out there today, and so is Tex Cobb. Fred Fowler tells me that Kennedy's only allowed 4 hits. 4 hits in the ball game is not bad. With a lead of 5-0, he's
in a very nice spot. Cabaretta at bat. Kennedy getting a sign from Luke Sewell. Cabaretta batting left-handed, of course. And here is the pitch. And Bill takes a hold of one and slams it right out into the midst of our friend Bill Hawks. So it's 1 out. It's a nice hit ball, but Bill just ran about 20 feet. Took it for the first out. 1 out. And Billy Herman at bat. Billy Herman, right-handed hitter. Kennedy gets the sign, and there it is, and it is strike 1. Right over the heart of the plate. Ball one and strike 1 on Billy Herman. The last half of the 8th inning. And Billy takes a wicked swing at that one, but fouled it out to the left. Where it was picked up by manager Charlie Grimm, who is now on third base coaching. Mr. Ratcliffe took care of that in great shape. There's the pitch. Strike 1 on Demery. Out over the heart of the plate, middle to the outside. And the pitch. Strike 2, right in the same place. Cut that plate just a little to the outside, then about waist high. Ball 1. Ball 1 and strike 2 on Frank Demery. Frank digging in with his strikes there to get a foothold. As much as to say, well, boys, look out for this one. Yeah. Get me a good foothold, and, he's digging out. He found something. A little rock was in his way. Well, now we'll see. That's probably helped matters. I'm glad we get a hold of this one. Demery at bat. 2 strikes and ball 1. Kennedy crossed him up that time by throwing a very, very slow ball, and Frank almost broke his back. The foul tip. 2 out, 2 strikes, and ball 1. And the booze is fed up. Kennedy completely crossed him that time. Turned in a fast one for ball 2. Ball 2 and strike 2 on Frank Demery. A pitch. Ball 3. Well, I would see if Frank, by digging that little rock out of there, did himself any good. 3-2 now, 2 out, and the pitch. And he wheels one. Went foul. Looked fair for a while, but went foul in the extreme end of the left field boxes. Almost out to the wall. So still 2 strikes and 3 balls on Frank Demery. Last half of the 8th inning. The Sox leading 5-0. Score of 5 looks pretty big, doesn't it, Freddie? And the pitch. Ball 4. Frank Demery walks. Got life on a rather poor throw by Mr. Kennedy, which almost hit the ground before reaching the plate. That brings up Stanley Hack, the third baseman. Stan Hack, a left-handed hitter. And Kennedy getting his sign, and he burns the first one in, and it is ball 1. Ball 1 on Stan Hack. Kennedy watching, getting his sign. On the rubber, the stretch, and the pitch. Strike 1. Strike 1 and ball 1. Strike 2. Fools went up on that one. It seemed a little low, but nevertheless, the ump's called it where he sees him. And it's strike 2 and ball 1. On Stanley Hack. 2 out. No runs. And the Sox leading 5-0. Stan got a hold of one, a little slow pounder, out to second and to first, and he is out. And ball went to Jackie Hayes and 2 him out at first base, Steve Menora. So, beating Stan Hack by about a foot. So, it is 3 outs. Sox come to bat in their first half of the 9th inning. And again, we repeat, that score of 5 looks very, very, very big about now.
Tex Carlson and Gabby Hartnett warming up. Wind blowing up here. People, a lot of top coats out here today in gloves, sweaters, and blankets. We're about ready now. Jimmy Dykes is at bat for the Sox in their first half of the ninth inning. Score 5-0 in favor of the Sox. Carlson pitching. Strike one on Jimmy Dykes. Strike one on Jimmy Dykes with Luke Sewell getting ready to come to bat. Strike two. Jimmy didn't like that very well. Strike two, no balls. And Jimmy Dykes just swung and struck out and has remarked to the umpire as he goes over the dugout on the count of that second strike. So it's one out, nobody on in the Sox half of the ninth inning. The first half of the ninth inning, score 5-0 for the Sox. Carlson pitching. And Sewell went to bunt, but the ball went behind him over to the Cubs dugout to our left. So it's strike one on Luke Sewell. Carlson using the rosin bag, the stretch, and the pitch. Ball one. Ball one and strike one. And Luke gets a hold of one and out into left center, or right center rather, which was taken by Augie Gallant. So it's now 2 out, no run, and Kennedy coming to bat. Kennedy gets a very nice hand. He's only allowed 4 hits all day today. It's just one of those days when Mr. Kennedy was right. Kennedy at bat, 2 out. And he takes a cut at the first ball, which is a foul tip back against the stand. A new ball being thrown in. Carlson gets the sign and the pitch. Ball one and strike one. 2 outs in the first half of the ninth inning. White Sox leading 5-0. And Mr. Kennedy took a wild swing at that one, which developed into strike two. Strike two on Kennedy. Ball two rather. Ball two and strike two on Kennedy. 2 out. Kennedy steps out of the batter's box now to clean off his strike. Now he's back again. Ready to go. Carlson getting the time, the stretch, and here's the pitch. Gets a hold of one and fouls it back to our left up on the top deck of the stand. Strike two. And ball two. Vern Kennedy, the Sox pitcher at bat. And he strikes out. Next Carlson burned some very nice ones in there on the last strike, it seems. They just kind of wobble a bit and then boom, disappear, and the gentlemen go right back to the dugout. So it's 3 out. In the first half of the ninth inning, the Cubs coming to bat for their last chance to score 5-0 for the Sox. And now, Fred, I think you've had enough, Fred, you rascal. Here's Fred Fowler, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, George Watson. Coming to bat in the last half of the ninth inning, the Cubs with Vern Kennedy on the mound, Luke Sewell behind the bat, warming up out there. Kennedy warming up with the score standing 5-0 in favor of the Southside Chicago White Sox and nothing for the Northside Chicago Cubs in the last half of the ninth inning. One last lone forlorn hope of the Cubs as they come to bat with Gabby Hartnett, the catcher of the Cubs, first man at bat. Walking slowly up to the plate as Mr. Kennedy completes his warm-up to Mr. Sewell. Walking it up to the plate as the draft jumps to the umpire and Luke Sewell. Kennedy mucking around out there on the mound a little bit to try and get it set up for himself. Now he's watching for his time to make the first pitch to Gabby Hartnett. Here's the windup and the throw. Gabby swings and makes a hefty count at it. It's going down foul. Here's the dugout and Luke Sewell makes the catch for the first out. 1 out in the ninth inning. 1 out in the ninth inning for the Cubs, and George Watson was just telling me that 5-run lead looks bigger and bigger. 1 out, which brings Johnny Gill to bat. Johnny Gill, left fielder for the Cubs, a left-handed hitter, standing up there at the plate now, ready to take his shot at bat as Vern Kennedy stands on the mound watching for his sign from Luke Sewell. Doesn't like that one, shakes off that sign. Now he has one that he likes. It's the windup in the pitch. Kennedy lines a single out into right center. Rolls foul. Rounding first on his way to second. A fast throw in. Coming in from right field from Newell Hart. And he pulls up, standing up at second base. A double by Johnny Gill, putting him on second base with one man out. The last half of the ninth inning. That brings to bat Bill Dietrich. Shortstop, Chicago Cubs, right-handed hitter, up the bat, one man out. Johnny Gill on second base. Vern Kennedy pitching now as his sign. Here's the pitch, and it's a hit. Well, it isn't a hit, though. Newell Hart goes back and makes the catch, and after the catch, Johnny Gill goes to third base, putting a man on third with two outs. Which brings Tex Carlton to bat, and hitting for Tex Carlton, O'Day. O'Day batting for Carlton. Johnny Gill on third base, two men out. O'Day batting for Carlton. Left-handed hitter, powerful hitter. Standing up there. Vern Kennedy looking over at third base to hold Johnny Gill as close as he can. Keep that run from scoring. See if they can't score a shutout. Here's the pitch. And it's right down the heart of the plate. Letter high for strike one. One strike on O'Day. O'Day batting for Tex Carlton. Here's the pitch. And it is strike two. While also right down the heart of the plate, across the knees. Strike two on O'Day. Two out. And it is a foul. He swung at that one, fouled it down the right field line over to the White Sox dugout. Leaving the count at two strikes on O'Day, batting for Carlton. On the last half of the ninth inning, the White Sox leading 5-0. Man on third base. Johnny Gill on third base. Vern Kennedy winding up. Here's the pitch. And it's a hit right down the left field line. Oh! Jimmy Knight coming in to pick it up, trying to throw to first. Fumbled it. Open error on Jimmy Knight. Third baseman of the Chicago White Sox, and that puts O'Day on first base. And it scores Johnny Gill from third. Johnny Gill scores from third. And O'Day makes first base on Mr. Dyke's error. As man on first. Two men out. First pitch to Augie Gallant is low and inside for ball one. Ball one on Augie Gallant. Man on first base. Two men out. One run home. Score 5-1 in favor of the White Sox. Here's the pitch. Gallant swings a high fly into left field. Rip Radcliffe coming in. Makes the catch for the third out. And the White Sox win by a score of 5-1. The last inning. The last half of the ninth inning, there was one run, one hit, and one error. The White Sox won by a score of 5-1. The summaries for you. We'll have the summaries in just a minute. Counting them up here as we have them, the White Sox made 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. To the Cubs, 1 run, 5 hits, and no error. We'll have those confirmed for you in just a moment. But the big news is that the Chicago White Sox won the first game of the City Series from the Chicago Cubs here at Wrigley Field by a score of 5-1. The White Sox and the Cubs will continue this City Series to determine the Chicago Championship tomorrow afternoon from Comiskey Park. The game is called for 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and will be played in the Southside Park with the White Sox, the home team, the Cubs visiting down there. We'll find out how the outcome of that game will be tomorrow afternoon. And once again, to repeat for the totals, they haven't officially been posted as yet. The official scoring is 5 runs for the White Sox, 5 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. To the Cubs, 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. The time of the game this afternoon was 1 hour and 37 minutes. 1 hour and 37 minutes. So that concludes this afternoon's ball game, ladies and gentlemen. So this is Fred Fowler speaking, and on behalf of George Watson and George, we bid you good afternoon and return to the studio.
The makers of Cornflakes Eat Cereals presents Al Dutton. He has been constant and good people become Cornflakes. You're joining with over 13 million people in their enjoyment of Kellogg's Cornflakes. Such leadership is a great source of pride to the Kellogg Company. And each year at this time, when everyone is looking ahead, they again pledge themselves that Kellogg's Cornflakes shall continue to be today's big fashion. Some morning soon, try Kellogg's Cornflakes and take your seat at the world's largest breakfast table. Kellogg's Cornflakes, made and guaranteed by the Kellogg Company of Battle Creek, Michigan. And now, here's Al Dutton.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we got our City Series underway today, didn't we? And the White Sox fans are very happy tonight because with Vern Kennedy pitching great ball, the White Sox beat the Cubs 5-1. They made 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. The Cubs 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error. The battery for the White Sox is Kennedy and Sewell. For the Cubs, Lee, Carlton, and Hartnett. Down in New York, however, the second World Series game was postponed on account of wet grounds and bad weather, and they hope to resume down there tomorrow. Now, before I go into a little chat about things, Mort, you might be interested in knowing, along with the other people, that on Monday evening, we're going to name the ball player that won that big Pontiac sedan. Monday evening in this show, this broadcast, they're going to have that. And we hope to announce the main prize winners. Well, they'll also be announced next week. We're going to try to announce them on Monday night, too. But whether we can or not is another question. That might be a couple of days after that because everybody's getting a chance. But people might be interested in knowing that every single person who voted in this contest is going to receive by mail a complete list of all the prize winners. So there won't be any doubt about it. But, of course, we'll announce them first on this program. But the winner, the player winning the sedan, will be announced Monday night. The fan winning the sedan and the other main prizes will come a little bit later. How about that? You think you can wait that long?
I think so, Al, but we've been waiting, awfully anxious.
Well, that's true. Before I get into this City Series discussion, the delay in today's game in the World Series may be just the thing the Giants have needed. You know, Hubble pitched the game that was expected yesterday and finished just breathing. The Yankees looked rather tame against Hubble. That doesn't mean that he can tame them every time he walks out, but he has a very good chance of doing just about that because right at the present time, Hubble is by far the greatest pitcher in baseball today. By losing out in today's game and having to wait over to play the second game of the series, it means that Hubble can come back in the third game of the series with 2 full days of rest. The third game would be played on Saturday in that case instead of on Friday, and with those 2 days back of him, Hub should be ready to go right in again. Now, of course, if Schumacher should stop the Yankees tomorrow and give the Giants a 2-0 lead in games, they might decide to rest Hub one more day and pitch him in the 4th game. But I don't know. Unless the Giants do have that edge, and even if they do, I'm almost sure that Hub's going to come back to that 3rd game. And then he'll be ready for a 6th game with 2 more days rest if the 6th game is the deciding game of the series. But if the 6th game isn't the deciding game, then he can take 3 full days rest and be ready for that number 7. Boy, if you know what that means, to be able to have that kind of a pitcher ready to go in there 3 times in a 7-game series. For instance, one other day of rain would just about make it too bad because if Hubble can deliver 3 games, he might be able to dig one other up between the rest of them, and the Yankees, all in all, might have such a tough time that it'd be just too bad. However, don't forget, the Yankee showing yesterday isn't the showing that they're liable to make at almost any time during the rest of the series, for the simple reason that they have too much power and too much experience. 1935 series. Warnicki won that 1st game and also the 5th. There's been a day of rain in there. He might have come back in the 4th game and turned the tide of battle because the series was very close as it was. So you can't tell. A day like today may be the big break, the turning point in the entire series. Now for that City Series game here in Chicago, many people weren't able to see it. And for that reason, I think I'll run right through the lineups and what happened in the game so that the fans right now will know play-by-play with some comments just what it was. The lineup for this ball game for the White Sox, we had Radcliffe in left, Rosenthal center, Haas right, Benura first, Appling short, Hayes second, Dykes third, Sewell catching, Kennedy pitching. For the Cubs, Galland center, Cavaretta first, Herman second, Demery right, Hack third, Hartnett catching, Gill left, Jurgis short, and Lee pitching. The umpires were Barr behind the plate, Ormsby at first, Stewart at second, and McGowan at third. And incidentally, it was a day without a squawk. Everybody was happy, and the umpires had to call some very close ones at the plate, although not more than one or two close ones on the bases, and it was well conducted in a very fast time. In the first inning, Radcliffe went out Cavaretta unassisted going after the first pitch. Rosenthal was called out on strike, and Haas bounced out by way of Jurgen. In the Cubs half of the first inning, Deland flied to Rosenthal, Cavaretta flied to Radcliffe, and Herman bounced out to Jimmy Dykes. Nothing across in both those, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Second inning was the same way as far as that's concerned. Benora hit a long fly to center field, which was pulled in by Deland. Appling fly to Demery, and Hayes also sent a rather ordinary fly out to Demery for the third out. In the Cub half of the second inning, Demery hit a short fly back at second base, which Jackie Hayes went back to pull down. Stanley Hack bounced out by way of the pitcher, and Hartnett hit a line drive to right field, but it was easy as it turned out for Mule Haas. The third inning for the White Sox saw the first hit of the game. Dykes, the first man up, took a crack at the first pitch and lined it sharply into right field for a base hit. Sewell, however, hit one right back at Lee, who made a one-handed stab at the ball on the hop with his gloved hand, threw to Jurgis at second, and the relay throw to Cavaretta turned into double play. Kennedy then bounced out by way of Hack, and it was no runs, one hit in the first half of the third inning. In the Cub half of the third inning, Gill hit a slow bounder down the third baseline, and it stopped dead in a spot just about a third of the way down there, too far in for Dykes to get. Kennedy went over, and on that rather wobbly knee that he's had trouble with all through the last few weeks, and the soft turf. The turf was in marvelous condition considering the rain, but it was a little soft. He couldn't get a hold of that ball in time to throw to first, and it was the Cubs' first hit. Jurgis then struck out. Lee got a hold of one pretty good, but Rosenthal dashed into left center to make the catch. Then Deland walked, but with runners on first and second and two outs, Cavaretta hit a short fly into left field, which was easy for Appling. No runs, one hit, and two men left on base. Fourth inning for the White Sox, Radcliffe bounced out also toward first base again and was out when Cavaretta got the ball and threw to Lee covering. Rosenthal singled to right. Haas forced Rosenthal, and Benora forced Haas. The Haas play going second to short, and the Benora play just the opposite. In the Cub half, after the Sox had no runs, one hit, and one left that half inning, Herman popped out to Jackie Hayes. Demery flied out to Rosenthal. Hack walked, but Hartnett was thrown out by Hayes. No runs, no hits, and one left. The fifth inning was the big inning, and there was a bad break in the inning, although the way it turned out, it wouldn't have made any difference, the way Kennedy was pitching that ball game. Appling opened with a walk, and Hayes lined the first pitch into left field for a base hit. Appling stopping at second. That Jackie Hayes was going just as he was the latter part of the season and making those tough base hits. Dykes, after missing one effort to bunt, did lay down a bunt toward first base. Cavaretta came in and running almost into the runner, grabbed the ball. I seemed to upset him for a moment because he hesitated, and then when he did throw to first, Herman already there and making a good target for him, instead of throwing the ball just to the left of the runner and getting it to Herman, or even throwing it over his shoulder, he hit Dykes in the elbow. The ball caromed into center field, and while it was a sacrifice, it also was an error. One run scored, and the other runners went to second and third. Sewell was walked on purpose to fill the bases. Then Kennedy came to bat, and the infield played halfway instead of all the way in, playing for the double play and reasonably sure of getting it, or hoping reasonably sure to hope for it. But Kennedy topped one, and he went so slowly toward Jurgis that by the time Bill dashed in to grab it, he didn't have a chance to make a play at the plate and had to throw the man out at first, allowing another run to score. And that sets the stage for that grand little fellow that's caused so much excitement all year, Rip Radcliffe, who lined one into the right field seat for a home run. It was not an easy out like he was the first two times, but it was a home run all the way, scoring Dykes and Sewell ahead of him, and that was the ball game. Rosenthal and Haas were out with 5 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. The Cub half, Gill flied out to short. Jurgis was out, pitcher to first. Lillard batted for Lee and walked. The land line to single to right center. Lillard going to third, and Cavaretta flied out to Hayes for the third out. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left on base. Sixth inning for the White Sox. Carlton went in to pitch for the Cubs, and Benora walked. Hartnett called for a pitch out on a hit and run as Appling came to the plate, and Benora tore for second, and Benora was out easily on the throw to Jurgis. Appling then came through with a single past second base, and just to show that it could be done, he stole second. Hayes was then called out on strikes, and Dykes struck out, which meant that Carlton really took things in his own hands. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. 6th inning for the Cubs. Billy Herman opens with a walk. Montgomery forced Herman from Benora to Appling. Hack then singled to left. Demery stopping at second. Hartnett fouled out to Benora, and Gill, hitting a ball pretty hard, hit it right into Appling's hands for the 3rd out. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. 7th inning for the White Sox. Sewell flied to right. Kennedy was out short to first, then Radcliffe flied to left. 7th inning for the Cubs. Appling made a nice pickup of Jurgis' tough bounder near second and threw him out. Carlson flied to left, and Galan struck out. No run. 8th inning for the White Sox. Rosenthal hit a little looping fly to left field, but Gill slipped coming into the field and it fell for a 2-base hit. But then again, Carlson got tough. Haas was called out on strike. Benora struck out. Appling walked, but Hayes lined one right into Billy Herman's hands for a hard hit ball, but an easy out. No runs, 1 hit. 8th inning for the Cubs. Cavarado lined to right. Herman was out second to first. Demery walked, but Hayes also threw out half. No run. 9th inning for the White Sox. Dykes struck out. Sewell flied to center, and Kennedy struck out. 9th inning for the Cubs. Hartnett fouled out the catcher. They really had Gabby stopped there. Gill doubled to right. Jurgis hit a long fly to right center, which was gathered in by Haas. Gill going to third after the catch. Well, base at it, but Carlson hit a slow roller down the third base line. Dykes came in, tried to field it to his right so as to be in better position to throw. The ball took a low hop, and all Jim could do was knock it down. He was charged with an error, and the Cubs' only run scored. And then Galan ended it with a fly to short left, which Appling went back to get. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. As I said, the total, the White Sox had 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, and 4 left. The Cubs 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error, and 9 men left on base. The base hit off Kennedy, 4 in 9 innings. Off Lee, 4 in 5 innings. Off Carlson, 2 in 4 innings. Struck out by Kennedy, 2, by Lee, 1, and by Carlson, 6. He really went in there and breezed and passed the boy. Well, bases on balls, off Kennedy 5, off Lee 2, and off Carlson 2. 2 base hits, Rosenthal and Gill. Home runs, Radcliffe. Runs batted in, Radcliffe 3, Kennedy 1. Earned runs, off Lee 4. Winning pitcher, Kennedy. Losing pitcher, Lee. Time of the game was 1 hour and 37 minutes. The batting averages tonight after the opening game, these Rosenthal and Appling leading the Sox list with a percentage of 500 each. And followed by Dykes with 333 and Radcliffe and Hayes with 250. That's all for now for as far as I'm concerned. And Fort, I believe you have something to say.
Yes, Hal. And listen, do you like cheerful? Here's one that can't be beat. Crisp, crunchy Kellogg's cornflakes. Imagine a bowlful now. A golden mountain of big brown flakes in the middle of a rich ivory lake of milk or cream topped off with a snow cap of sugar if you like them sweet. Oh, boy, doesn't it make you feel hungry? You love the extra crispness that all Kellogg's cereals have. Strike a bowlful now without winning Kellogg's cornflakes for supper. It's an ideal evening meal for growing boys and girls, experts all say. And they taste as good at night as in the morning. If you don't happen to have a package on hand now, get one from your grocer tomorrow. Be sure to look for Kellogg's cornflakes. Kellogg presents Hal Cotton with his inside story on baseball each day at this time except Sunday. This is the National Broadcasting Company.